my team or the enemy team. So if I'm not on my team, I must be on the enemy team. So having it actually handle there are multiple enemy teams, broke a number of gods that we went back and fixed, and some like core mechanics like towers and stuff, just all kinds of little stuff that just assumed that, and we've gone and polished all that up so that you can actually play versus yourself and another team after that. You can definitely get a spoiler in there. In normal Smite, it's just one team's ahead, one team's behind. In this, once one team pulls ahead, both the other teams kind of recognize, like, all right, we should really start killing them, otherwise they're going to run away with this, which adds a whole new dynamic to the game of Smite.
Yeah, it looks like you can see who's on each team on the top left of your screen there. Nice little, easy to understand UI. So it looks like kind of an arena thing, but Christian, the mini map, I'm taking a look at it right now, it's starting to close in there. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, so the map in total is separated by 3 parts, and then right on the outside is this big sandstorm, and it's essentially a fog that the sandstorm encompasses in and pushes all of the players inside into the center objective.
Okay, so there is a center objective. What is that center objective?
You want to talk about?
That's the death mask. So this whole thing is like a refound tomb to Queen Cobra Medusa, and inside you've got this little obelisk with her death mask on it. When you kill that, you get a buff. Your whole team gets a buff for the whole round. So if you see up the top, the UI element says round 2, there can be between 3 and 7 rounds. And for the rest of this round, you're going to have a buff on your entire team that increases your damage dealt, giving your team just a little bit of edge on the other 2. So it really, in addition to the sandstorm, those both kind of push you towards the center to kind of force aggression over the course of the match, so no one can like stay hidden over in little pockets and not have to fight and make it to the end that way.
So we're getting a little in depth here, but I suppose we should take a step back and just talk about what the actual mode is. It's 3v3v3, and it's round based.
That's right.
You just have to eliminate the enemy team. First to 3 wins, right?
Sure. So it's last man standing. So of all these teams, the last team that has any members surviving a round, that team wins the round. And then you've got those little, you see the HUD up the top, you've got 3 little pips under each of the team symbols. And the first team to get all 3 of those wins the entire game. And each one of those represents one of the rounds. So it'd be the last man standing 3 rounds, and you got the game.
So it looked like there were some potions around the map. There is some element of sustain that you can find there.
In the little watery areas, you can see a little healing potion. In addition to retroactive healing, it also gives you a preemptive shield. I believe 5% of your max health, so that you can grab them before you really get into the throes of combat and have just a little bit of edge for that first center objective fight.
Now, Christian, I see a lot of bushes around. Are you? And it looked like you were going invisible almost in those. Is there a stealth mechanic there?
There is. So there was something that was pretty popular with one of the adventures we had made, which was Nile stealth grass. And so I think we wanted to bring that back and wanted to play around with it. Basically, when you leave your base, there's those potions on the outside, and they're set up with Nile grass that's around that's good for ganking. And basically, when you can go in it, you can stealth and jump on your enemy teams. Or if you're in a big major fight, you can hide in it and get away. But yeah, it's represented by the big tall grass, and they're sprouted throughout the entire map.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, but Fish, so let's role play for a second here. Let's say I'm a little tiny baby scared player like FDOT. Let's just a random name that I just came up with.
I can picture it. Picture it.
Yeah. So what if I just want to hide around until the very end of the round and not really, and just try and play cleanup after the other 2 teams duke it out? Is that a sound strategy for me?
So let's talk about upsides and downsides. So the upsides of that is that there's a good chance, especially around that center objective, that the other 2 teams are going to fight each other and likely pick off each other. So at least one of the teams is going to be down one or potentially all of their members, giving you an increased chance to win because you'll still be full members, full health. Now, the downsides are that each time you get a kill, your whole team gets a power buff. Similar in strength to the red buff, it gives both some flat magical or physical power and some percentage-based power of either type. And each time anyone on your team gets a kill, your whole team gets that buff. So you can get to up to 3 times for killing one team, and then up to another 2 times for killing 2 members of the 3rd team before you kill the last guy. And so if you're sitting there waiting in the grass as F-Dot,
yes,
you're going to be weaker in that
crying
final
a little
fight.
bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Like huddling,
Right.
kind of like rocking
Whimpering.
yourself gently.
Yeah.
You're going to have the safety of your whole team in full health, but you're going to be at a disadvantage by not having that power buff for not having participated in those fights earlier.
And that power buff stacks, you were telling me
It
earlier.
does,
Like,
it does.
It's pretty crazy. If you start killing a lot of people, like if one team wipes another, you have to get in there quick while they're low before they heal up. because this power buff is strong.
Sure. So it stacks in 2 ways. One, you can just get one instance of that buff for each person you kill. So you can have it up to 5 times before you kill the last person. The other way it stacks is it starts out really weak and actually ticks up over the course of 10 seconds. So if we're in a close 3v3 and I'm real low and you're real low, I don't instantly become stronger and finish you off. You have a chance over the course of those 10 seconds while it's ticking up before it reaches full strength. After that, though, I'm going to have this full strength buff and you're not, so I'm going to have a huge advantage.
And it looks like the healing that you get from getting the kills, the potions that drop, those are little like death scrolls,
That's right.
Christian? Like, what was the environment